Have you ever noticed that every pagan god listed in the Holy Bible is referred to by a proper name? For example, gods we've read about in the Old Testament such as Moloch, Chemosh, Dagon, Baal, Baal Peor, and many, many others, all are referred to by their proper name. Even gods and goddesses of mythology such as Zeus, Poseidon, Bacchus, and Apollo all have a proper name. The Most High God, the one true and real God that Christians serve, also has a proper name. In the original Hebrew, the Most High God reveals to himself as Yahuwah. The name Yahuwah means, I am he who breathes life, behold the nailed hands. The first time I read that definition, I got chills. And I immediately wondered why, if the names of pagan gods are all listed in the Bible, then why wasn't the Most High God's name given? In most English translations of the Holy Bible, beginning with the original 1611 King James Version, Father Yahuwah is simply referred to by a title, the Lord, in all caps, and his proper name, Yahuwah, is never mentioned on the pages of Scripture that are translated into English. And as far as titles go, Lord isn't even the highest ranking in terms of royalty. A duke or a king are higher ranking titles than a lord. But the translators have ascribed a much lowlier title than even a king to the Most High God, and curiously, never include his proper name. Fun fact, in many instances the false god Baal was often referred to by his followers as Lord Baal.
The word Lord would derive from the word Baal, which is the pagan deity described throughout the scriptures. This translation, Lord, equaling Baal, is most likely what the modern translators were inspired by the evil one to use. The Encyclopedia Britannica describes Baal as the following: Baal, a god worshipped in many ancient Middle Eastern communities, especially among the Canaanites, who apparently considered him a fertility deity and one of the most important gods in the pantheon. As a Semitic common noun, Baal, Hebrew Baal, meant owner or lord. Even taking a chance of aligning the Creator's name with a pagan deity seems absolutely absurd.
Blessed be Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, the sovereign of Yashar'al. From everlasting to everlasting your name, O sovereign, shall be praised, and your righteousness shall be declared throughout all generations. Your righteousness is eternal, and it shall never be abolished, for by it you govern all of creation. Arise from your slumber, O Yashar'al, and walk in the righteousness which the Creator had sown in you from the beginning, and receive your inheritance from the right hand of the Most High. And you, O nations, depart from darkness, and walk in the light of Yahuwah, that we might be found blameless, without spots or blemish, to be counted worthy to be called children of the living Elohim. The pagan origin of the word Lord. The name Yahuwah, the Creator of all that is above and all that is upon the earth and beneath the earth, is in the original Paleo-Hebrew Hebrew manuscript 6,823 times. Almost every translation on earth, including the King James, takes out the Creator's personal name and replaces it with a title as his name, Lord, a generic title that means Baal or master. Baal is a Phoenician deity, an idol. The title Lord is applied to all heathen idols, if the word God is not used for them. In most cases, Lord and God are used interchangeably for pagan idols. There was an Etruscan house pagan idol whose name was Lar, which signified Lord. It was also known as Larth, who later on became very popular in Rome and became known as Lares, plural, because as idol statues they were usually in pairs. The Greek equivalent of this name was Heros, which was another name for Zeus. A feminine form was known as Lara, who was the beloved of the god Mercury. Lar and Larth mean Lord. The letters Th and D were virtually interchangeably used in various nations. It was also common to find O and A interchangeably used in Old and Middle English. The word Lord can also be traced back to Lorid, a surname for the Teutonic god Thor, and to Lordo, another pagan idol. The Abri. Hebrew word Baal. Hebrew Strong's number H1168. Hebrew transliterated word, Baal definition, a heathen god. Origin, the same as Baal. Baal, a Phoenician deity. Usage Baal, plural, Balaam. Translated as Count of Baal. A master. Hence, a husband or, figuratively owner, often used with another noun in modifications of this latter sense archer. Babbler. Bird. Captain. Chief man. Confederate. Have to do. Dreamer. Those to whom it is due. Furious. Those that are given to it. Great. Hairy. He that have it. Have. Horseman. Husband. Lord. Man. Married. Master. Person. Sworn. They of. Hosea 2:16 and 17. And it shall be at that day, says Yahuwah, that you shall call me Ishi, my husband, and shall call me no more Baali. For I will remove the names of the Baal idols from your lips, so that you will never again utter their names. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus says Yahuwah, stand in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it. Then you will find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it. Daniel 12:1-4. At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one who is found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. And those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Zephaniah 3:9. For then I will restore to the people a pure language, that they all may call on the name of Yahuwah, to serve him with one accord. O my people, do not follow the ways and the religions of the nations. The scripture is not a religious book, but it is a way of life to everlasting life. Jeremiah 16:19-21. O Yahuwah, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, worthlessness, and unprofitable things. Will a man make mighty ones, gods, for himself, which are not mighty ones? Therefore behold, I will this once cause them to know, I will cause them to know my hand and my might. And they shall know that my name is Yahuwah. Let us further investigate the word Lord. The name Yahuwah has been substituted in our translations of the scriptures with the title Lord some 6,823 times. The short form Yah has also been substituted 48 times with Lord, and only in one place was it retained as Yah, in Psalm 68:4 in the older, and more literal translations. Further, wherever we read God in capital letters, that too is a substituted for Yahuwah. This title Lord is applied to all heathen deities, if the word God is not used for them. In most cases Lord and God are used interchangeably for pagan idols. For instance, Hare Krishna is popularly known as Lord, and nowadays we hear much about Lord Maitreya. Paul stated in 1 Corinthians 8:5. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many. So, who then do we worship? Surely there is only one that we should worship, with his Son sitting on his right side. What is his name, and what is his Son's name, if you know? Proverbs 34. Why have their names been hidden from us? Let us investigate this most common substitute for the name Yahuwah, namely Lord. What is its etymology? Dictionaries tell us that it originated from the Old English hlaford, which in turn came from half-word equals loafkeeper. This may be true, but you do have to stretch your imagination to see a connection between Lord and half-word. Nevertheless, even if we do accept this explanation, I would like to propose that, in accordance with the spirit of syncretism, i.e., making your deity acceptable to others, we can readily see how the worshippers of three pagan deities with names similar to Lord were accommodated by means of compromise. These three pagan deities were Larth, Lord and Lordo. The Church, which evolved after Constantine fused the messianic belief with sun worship, was enthusiastic to win as many followers as they could, even if it meant compromise or assimilation. Let us further investigate these three pagan deities. 1. Larth. There was an Etruscan house deity whose name was Lar, which signified Lord, also known as Larth, who later on became very popular in Rome and became known as Lares, plural, because as idol statues they were usually in pairs. This deity was invoked together with Janus, Jupiter, Mars, Quirinus, and Bellona. The Greek equivalent of this name was Hieros, which was another name for Zeus. A feminine form was known as Lara, who was the beloved of Mercury, the sun deity. Another name for Zeus was Lariceus, which also was another name for Apollo. Zeus was also known as Laragios or Larisis, while Laragios was also a surname of Helios. Typical of the syncretism and polytheism of those days, we read of Emperor Alexander Severus 222–235 CE, who had images of Abraham, Christ, and Alexander the Great among his household Lares. These Lares are to be found in the East as well, seen in niches in Hindu houses. However, what is the analogy between Larth, Lar, and Lord? Firstly, all sources agree that this Lar, or Larth, means Lord. Secondly, it is well documented that th and d were virtually interchangeably used, varying from nation to nation. Thirdly, in Old English and Middle English it was common to find the o and a interchangeably used too. In the Middle English Dictionary, editor S.M. Kuhn, we read that Lord was earlier spelt lard. That lore became Lord. That lore was spelt lar in Old English, meaning the action or process of teaching or preaching. That lore fader was also spelt larfaderer, or larfader, or larfader, meaning teacher. That lore spell was lar spell in Old English, meaning that which is taught in religion. And that lordu was previously also spelt lar theou, lardu, larduin, lard, lordo, meaning teacher or spiritual or theological teacher. Thus we can easily see the ease of identifying lard, Lord, Larth, Lore, Lar, Lorthia, Lartho, Lardu with one another. In fact, it is easier to trace the origin of Lord according to this well-documented evidence, rather than the commonly held belief that it originated from half-word. 2. Lorid. Thor was the well-known Teutonic war deity. He was also known as a sun deity. His surname was Hloridi, as recorded in the Edda. This name or surname was also spelt Hloridi or Lorit, the latter also taken to be Thor's son, who had a wife with the name Glora. This Lorid could easily have been contracted to the form Lord, or perhaps it could only have served to establish religious syncretism with Larth, and Lorthia, and Lard, and Lordo, and Lord. 3. Lordo, Lordo or Lorden was another deity or daimon. The daimon of lordosis, the curvature of the spine of body, which also had a sensual meaning. If all this evidence is considered, one can resolve that, apart from the various names which contributed towards the assimilation or syncretism, the most likely origin of the word Lord is from Larth, Lard, and Lorthia, Lardu, Lordo, Lard. Thus, although the word Lord is not so clearly related to or originated from Frank sun worship, we have enough evidence to trace its roots back to idolatrous worship in the form of Lorid, being a surname for Thor the sun, and also Lorthia, or Lardu, or Lordo, connected with Theos or Dios or Deva, as well as Larth or Lar, which was somehow linked with Mercury, the sun deity, and Zeus, the sky deity, who later on became the sun deity. O Yahuwah, the great and awesome Al who keeps his covenant and mercy with those who love him, and with those who guard his commandments. We have sinned and committed iniquity. We have done wickedly and rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and your judgments. Neither have we heeded your servants the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings and our princes, to our fathers, and all the people of the land. O Yahuwah, righteousness belongs to you, but to us shame of face as it is this day. We have been unfaithful towards you and have searched out vanity, the wisdom of the fallen. Therefore the curses of the law is poured out upon us, and we are unable to lift our heads. However, the law, with its fruit, does not perish, but remains in its splendor because it is yours. O sovereign of our perfection, by awesome deeds in righteousness I know that you will answer us, O Elohim of our salvation. O take courage, my people, the memorial of Yashar'al. You were sold to Gentile nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved Yahuwah to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. For you provoked your Maker with sacrifices to demons and not to Yahuwah. You forgot the everlasting Elohim, who brought you up, and you grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. Restore us, O Yahuwah our Elohim, cause your face to shine upon us, and we shall be saved. You who are the confidence of your people from the ends of the earth and of the far-off seas. Test and refine us as silver is refined, and remove our impurities, that we might be counted worthy to be called children of the living Elohim.
Jeremiah 29 verses 11 to 14. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says Yahuwah. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me, and go and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And you will seek me, and find me, when you search for me with all your heart. I will be found by you, says Yahuwah, and I will bring you back from your captivity. I will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places where I have driven you, says Yahuwah. And I will bring you to the place from which I caused you to be carried away captive. These verses show that Yahuwah is always ready to forgive and restore his people when they turn back to him with sincere hearts. The reversal of the curses is part of Yahuwah's larger plan for his people in the last days. This includes restoration of the land,